Howdy folks, welcome to Red Dead Redemption Part 3. This mission will be, this is Armadillo, USA. And it's fairly simple. We ride a coach to Armadillo, USA. And yep, that's pretty much it. Not too complicated at all. I guess it's meant to be a sort of a tutorial mission, explaining how we ride coaches. Speaking of which, it's, yeah, these coaches appear throughout the game, and there are usually two mission types. One where you ride the coach itself, and two where you ride shotgun and shoot people. Now, of course, the second type of coach mission I described is obviously the more fun one. It really is actually where you sort of, well, you shoot from the passenger side. Which I guess this is where the term riding shotgun took place. The sprawling scene here. Now this part, this area here, it's, I guess it's based off West Virginia. And the area we're going to next is sort of based off Texas. It's called New Austin. Oh, in this area, it is, I'm not sure if it is technically part, but it's very close to an area called West Elizabeth. Which, fun fact, Virginia, named after Elizabeth I, who was called the Virgin Queen. Because she never married. So, yeah, West Elizabeth, West Virginia. Look at me, I'm driving like a maniac here. I really don't like the coaches. Well, first of all, they're slow. They're not. They can be quite bumpy, and they can tip over quite easily. So, yep, there you go. But during this scene, we get a few exposition dialogues here. John explaining exactly what's going on. Now, I guess I take a bit too long with this coach trip. No, I don't. I take a too little time. Because John does explain he does have a farm in an area called Beecher's Hope, and a person called Uncle is looking after it. And he also explains that the uncle isn't technically his uncle. And I point that out because I thought he might be his uncle, because when we see this character, he does actually look a bit like John. So, Shoulder Springs here. Yep, this is the sort of Texan area, which we were here before in the first mission of the game, and it's, yep, cactuses, tumbleweed. Yep, this is the Old West. And, you know, I guess another issue with this game, it depends on how you look at it, I guess, is that the areas seem a bit samey. Like, you know, there's a desert area, and there's another desert area, and there's a prairie area and a forest area. Oh, and actually a mountain area. So, I guess to tell a lie, you do get a few diverse locations, but yeah, a lot of this game is mainly desert areas, which I guess can be off-putting. And yeah, of course, I know it's a Western game, of course, but I guess what I mean is that's sort of the point. That's something which put me off the game. I'm not too keen on games that just have one environment over and over again. Yeah, but saying that, these are well done environments, and like I said, I got into the gameplay, so yeah, the fact that it is mostly desert doesn't really bother me at all. Now, yep, we have now the concept of buying stuff explained to us. Like I said, we have regenerating health, but it's always good to have a bottle of medicine on you. For a start, we might need it for a side quest coming up later. And second of all, even if you get into trouble, it's worth having. And oh, I'm sad because I can't buy anything else. But yeah, there'll be an opportunity to earn money as we get on. I would say one of the best ways to earn money is to actually loot dead bodies. You only get a couple of dollars off each dead body you take, but even then that builds up. And also buying guns, I'd say for the most part you don't actually need to buy guns. You'll get upgraded if you play the story. There's a few special guns, which you can only get through buying them yourself. But we'll see that much later on.
Try not to get yourself shot. I won't be around to save you this time.
Goodbye, Bonnie. Remember, don't go around Fort Mercer again. Oh, and a stagecoach Stagecoach? Oh, I could do a stagecoach actually. I'm thirsty as hell. But a stagecoach is fast travel, although it is fairly expensive. But yep, more on that later. Now you see this Armadillo, and it's such a traditional western town here, where it's essentially one street. There we go, walk down there like a boss. Now coming up next is the character of the Marshal, and yep. Now, like I said, this game does allow you to play with the tropes or different roles of a character from a western. You can be a gunslinger, a bandit, a rebel, and in this case, these missions represent us being a lawman.
Hey, you got a visitor.
Ugh, charming.
Shut up, you. Now what you want?
My name's John Marston. You wanted to speak to me.
Oh, Rockstar, you and your colourful characters.
Apparently so.
Why?
He's more southern than
Business of the law.
a pair of socks. Yep. Some folk will never eat a skunk, but then again, some folk will.
You that fella from the train company?
No,
Oh, there we go. See, at this point, John's got to be wondering, do I have a shoot me sign on my back, which I missed? Because he is just attracting bullets today, isn't he?
You getting cute with me, boy?
What's going on here?
You know, Jonas is going to get his own spin-off game where he runs around collecting coins.
Got me one of them idiots.
It's going to be called the Jonas Brothers.
Jonah, put your gun down.
Now we are introduced to Marshal Leigh Johnson, who's, yep, if you've seen any lawman in any western, you've pretty much seen him. But no, he's fine. He's a tough but fair character, fairly likeable. I like the guy. And honestly, out of all the different roles you can play in this game, I think lawman is probably my favourite thing to do.
And you? Oh, I done seen enough of you.
Oh, that's a lie, John Marston. There's only one child in this game, and he's yours. So, yeah.
Oh, hardy fucking hard.
Okay, not to be a bit sarky about the whole Grand Theft Auto formula, but I'm gonna pretty much sum up all the missions. John wants something,
I'm here to
and the other person won't help them unless they help him. But then again, I think that's the formula for most games ever, to be honest.
You're outside my jurisdiction. It's in the next county.
Now, I said before that being a lawman is my favourite role to play in this game. Because, well, I say lawman, I guess the technical term is bounty hunter, in a, or even mercenary, you could say, in John's case. But anyway, the point is, yeah, I like just taking down bad guys, bandits and ne'er-do-wells.
Hard enough around here.
Which is something I do a lot in games nowadays, when there's a moral choice, is I just go for the good option. I know, maybe that's because that's just what I would do, or maybe I just know that I'll get the best reward if I'm a good little boy.
Spending your time running around.
I guess my parents didn't do a not so bad job after all then.
My cause.
That and I often find that in games, of course, being the good guy is usually more challenging. Like, for example, when you have to take someone alive.
Mister?
It's usually more interesting, if a bit more frustrating, of course.
Why? What's happening? Right now? I got the
Yeah,
rails
this is
ready
where
for
the
you to pay
bandits...
my salary.
We'll see soon later on. Oh my god, we will see how dark this game can be.
Cattle rustlers out near
But,
Fox Canyon.
yeah, these sorts of... It's like something from Mad Max. They're just killing settlers and, yeah, all kinds of nasty
Then I got a
stuff.
bunch of hoods over in the
You know,
saloon.
lawless isn't really the word. It's anarchy in its own way. Pure anarchy, of course.
All right, tell you what.
I like the whole western stance where they sort of sway their hips.
Let's go deal with them.
He's like bloody Shakira.
in the saloon.
Except when John does it, it's kind of manly.
Okay, boy. You're a persistent little cuss, ain't you? Only when things matter.
And, well, here we see a sort of interesting image of law, where essentially the marshal, obviously he's a law enforcer, but he sort of lets the small criminals do what they want to a certain degree, in order to keep the wider peace, which is always an interesting dynamic.
Bunch of two-bit hoodlums.
There we go. This is so western, just walking down the middle of the street here. Probably a bit unwise. And I check the menu here. Now, anyway, this mission here, it's our first combat mission, I would say. And well, I guess shooting rabbits and coyotes doesn't really count as a combat, I wouldn't say. But yeah, we get to shoot ourselves some bad guys. Yeehaw!
Dumb rat bastard now.
And the guy there with the sort of red top hat, that's, again, to go back to the sort of Grand Theft Auto example, that's a member of the Walton's gang. And yeah, these guys have like gang symbols. Except it's the Old West, so it comes down to having like a red top hat. Now the mission here is to follow the guy, but make sure you're not seen. So yeah, just keep your distance. Or if you want, you can just hold the X button and you'll go at the same speed as the Marshal here. I gotta like that feature, really. And it took me a while to figure it out during my first playthrough, so I was going backwards and forwards, knocking the other guys off the path. And yeah, this is another example where I actually do like horses in gameplay, because they're more versatile. Well, I guess you could make this sort of journey on a bike, but yeah. Then again. Now, something you'll see about the travel here is that I do tend to cut it out as we get on throughout the game, because otherwise I'm making the same journeys back and forth, and we really don't need to see that. But yep, I will show off a few journeys earlier on, because just to give you an idea of how big this game can be. Let me see, I think if you were to horse ride from one end of the map to the other, it would take you 5 minutes real time, which is a long time in gaming. Or possibly more. You could even say we got some bad company.
Looks like we got company, boys.
Ah yes, now this does have some cover-based shooting here. And honestly, I don't bother with it. See, the thing about cover-based shooting is that you're sort of locked onto an object, and I hate that. Yeah, maybe I should have took more advantage of it, but I just hide behind objects rather than like glue myself to them. There we go, here comes the repeater. Now, obviously, like in any other game which doesn't involve automatic weapons, or maybe this does apply to games that have automatic weapons. Actually, it does. Well, anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, you shoot them when they reload. Ooh, got some headshots here. And yeah, this is a good tutorial, just go from one object to the other. Not really rocket science, is it? Hide behind a big rock. Oh, come on, just peek your head around the corner. Now, this is Deadeye here. I just use that to get some quick shots in here. And, yeah, that red eye meter does fill up by itself, so... yeah, feel free to use it. Let me see. See, this is again where arguably the minimap is slightly broken, because I can see a big red spot in the corner there, and that's exactly where the next guy is going to be. Hey buddy, I got a bullet for you. Its address is your brain, so I'm just going to mail that to you directly. And I make that big cocky statement, and I shoot him in the chest. And again, like in every shooting game ever, headshots do more damage. And, well, in this case, they're probably an instant kill. Now, you've got to take this guy alive, so just shoot him in the leg. Look at him, crawling away. Listen, you know, bravo, mate. I've got to give you credit for not giving up. Oh, this house, a bit trivia, I guess, is that you can actually buy this house later on and use it as a save point. And I guess it is worth doing, because essentially if you die, you re-emerge at your last save point. And yeah, it's a fairly big map, so there can be times when you die and you have to traverse half the world map to get back where you were. So if you can afford it, and if you're in a new area, it's good to buy a new house. Yes, looting dead bodies. Yes, probably the best way to earn money and keep your ammo up, actually. Although it is rather time consuming.
Alright, let's see.
And of course they're marked out with little X's on the map. Pretty cool, huh? If I didn't mention before, you press up on the D-pad to summon your horse, and on this way, Skippy. And yep, let's have a look at the map here. As you can see, it's fairly sprawling with 3 main areas. And yep, Hennigan's Stead. That's Bonnie's place, and the B marks out Bonnie and the characters and the missions. And by pressing X, you can sort of plot out a course. Fairly simple stuff. If you played a Grand Theft Auto game, then this should all be old news to you by this point. But no, when it comes to riding, there are actually a number of random encounters, and I show one off here. And I'll say random, I think this is pre-programmed. And first of all, let's take out the bandits with bullet time. You see, like I said, it's recharged with in just a minute or two after the last time I used it. It's the red meter, if you're wondering, and there's always one, isn't there? And of course, it goes without saying, you have to make sure you don't accidentally shoot that guy, which I nearly did. Now, like I said, in this game you can take on many roles, and this one is the treasure hunter. And by helping get this guy, you do get a treasure map, which leads to a location. And you sort of have to work out from looking at the map where this money is. Which we might get to finally do later on. And you can get other random encounters here, where you'll come across like lawmen trying to chase down a fugitive, or bandits trying to rob you. And apparently I don't know how buttons work, because I'm pressing the wrong ones. There we go, and this is the map with X marks the spot. And from this image, I guess you're supposed to guess where the map is, or where the treasure is hidden. Now, the thing is, the image 1 you see there, the hanging rope on the tree and the rocks. I know where that is, but I've never been able to find where that pile of rocks is before. But honestly, I'm not really bothered about being a treasure hunter. I'd rather just shoot stuff, if I'm honest.